Oh, hey, Pa! This is the place to do it. Have you ever wanted to get away from it all, the noise, the stress? Well, I've got just the place for you. Actually, I've got quite a few places. John Bartel here, and as a travel reporter exploring California, I've come across many remote places, and I want to show you a few. First off, we're gonna head to Death Valley, to the little town of Darwin, where people live underground. I have traveled to the middle of nowhere many times in California, but this place is desolate and hot. You better get all your text messages and calls in because there is no service out here. Absolutely none. At the westernmost edge of Death Valley, just before the national park entrance, there's a desert colony of sorts, known as Darwin. As you make your way into town, you're welcomed by a barrage of sunburnt shacks and abandoned trailer homes. At first, it looks like a ghost town, but I can assure you, people do live here. This is Larry the lifeguard, one of about 40 people who live in Darwin. And if you want to know why people call him Larry the lifeguard, you'll just have to follow him to his house, which is a little hard to see. So Larry, where is your house at?
I don't know. I have trouble finding it myself sometimes.
It's troubling to find because, like a number of Larry's neighbors, he lives underground. What would we technically be standing on right here?
The dining room table.
Hidden under some trees and several feet of dirt is Larry the lifeguard's 2,000 square foot desert oasis. And that helps you keep cool.
Don't you feel it?
It's way cooler underground.
Yeah.
Oh. According to Larry, it's about 20 to 30 degrees cooler underground, and this is where he likes to explain his nickname. Are you a real lifeguard?
31 years.
Where? There's not much water around here.
No, the beaches in Santa Monica and Venice.
Because he loves the desert, Larry bought some cheap land in Darwin, and when he was young, started building a vacation home out of recycled materials. Where'd you get these timbers?
Those are parts of the Santa Monica Pier.
Larry admits he isn't the first to come up with the idea of living underground. Old silver miners used to dig holes in the hillside to escape the heat.
1875, I think. There were 4,000 people living around here. Miners didn't mind living in holes in the ground.
Darwin was a silver mine named after Darwin French, a prospector who originally was searching for a mythical mine.
He was looking for the Lost Gunsight mine, but what he found was the waterfall. And this area was named after him.
That waterfall is Darwin Falls, one of the few water sources in Death Valley. And that water supported all the mining operations in Darwin.
This was the second largest silver strike around here.
The old mine in town is still somewhat operational, but these days, artists and retirees outnumber the miners. You carved this?
This is carved, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like you were like hammer?
Yeah, I have some other ones out here in the yard.
Drive around town and you'll see a number of Jim Hunnell sculptures, along with other paintings and oddities.
There's some chard here, some tomatoes.
And if you're looking for some fresh greens for your salad, stop by the Darwin Community Garden to talk to Tamara Myers, who retired from teaching in Santa Cruz to garden in the desert and get away from it all.
I was just done with my life. I mean, with that life, not with my life, but I wanted a big change.
Darwin may be hot, dry, and desolate, but that's how the people here like it. And if you find yourself visiting Darwin, I think you'll like it too. As long as you get here before the heat of the day sets in. The High Sierra offers a lot of solitude because the rugged terrain is so difficult to travel. That is, unless you have a high clearance vehicle. Deep within the Tahoe National Forest, just off the famous Rubicon Trail, is an off-roader's paradise called Uncle Tom's Cabin. When you need to get away from it all, I mean, really get away from it all. There's a secluded little hideout where the Tahoe and El Dorado National Forest meets. It's a place where you can really unplug.
The last power is in the town of Quintet.
How far back?
Probably 17 miles.
Welcome to Uncle Tom's Cabin, one of the most remote bars in Northern California that's been catering to the off-roading community for over 160 years.
There's no places like this.
Rance McFarland is one of the volunteer caretakers of Uncle Tom's Cabin. And just to be clear, this cabin is not related to the book Uncle Tom's Cabin. Who was Uncle Tom?
Tom Markham. Tom Markham was original that homesteaded the 40 acres. This is a 40-acre property.
Not a lot is known about Tom Markham, other than he was a miner and a fur trapper who in the 1860s homesteaded near the Rubicon Trail, which was a rough and rugged road linking Lake Tahoe and the gold rush village of Georgetown.
He was well known for his, how he could process his hides there. So there was other trappers that would bring their stuff to him to help process it.
For years, miners, loggers, and ranchers used to pass by Uncle Tom's Cabin to rest, get supplies, or do some trading.
They're traveling through and stopping and visiting, started basically calling him Uncle Tom. So hence, the name is stuck.
It's unclear what happened to Uncle Tom, but in the 1920s, the Lawyers, a prominent cattle ranching family, bought the place and turned it into a rest stop of sorts for early automobile travelers looking for gas or maybe some alcoholic libations. Does it get pretty rowdy during some of these off-road events that come up?
Yeah, if these walls could talk.
Uncle Tom's Cabin is still owned by the Lawyer family, and it's still an off-road rest stop serving libations. And if you're tired, or if you've had too much to drink, you can stay at one of their rustic cabins. Emphasis on rustic.
People usually just bring their sleeping bags to put on top of the beds.
It doesn't look like you guys have a maid service here.
No.
If you thought the cabins were rustic, wait till you see the two-seat outhouse. But it's a nice way, I guess, to kind of keep warm and keep company. Uncle Tom's takes credit cards now, but years earlier, they took a different kind of credit. Why do you got so many dollar bills up on the roof here?
Well, the loggers back in the day when they used to come over here, they would put their initial or mark on it and use it as a bank to where they could come back and use it.
Well, it may be a little rustic and hard to get to, but there's a certain kind of charm about this place that seems to attract weary travelers back to Uncle Tom's Cabin, generation after generation. In the quiet windswept hills of Solano County sits Bird's Landing, a small town that once had its moment in the Hollywood spotlight thanks to Clint Eastwood. While its time with fame is faded, the few residents who remain are working hard to keep the heart and the spirit of their town alive.
Throw your arms around this honky-tonk man.
Well, Honky Tonk Man wasn't his most memorable movie, but when the cameras were set up to film Clint Eastwood's 1982 American musical western comedy, it sure was memorable to the townspeople of Bird's Landing.
I've never seen so much chaos in my life make movie. I mean...
Though chaotic, lifelong resident John Benjamin says his rural town was an ideal backdrop for Clint Eastwood's character, Red Stovall, who was a traveling musician bouncing around small-town America with his nephew. About what's the population here?
About 13.
13 people. John Benjamin says Bird's Landing wasn't always so small. In the late 1800s, it was a bustling port town, founded and named after businessman John Bird, who built the wharf, which attracted schooners full of people to work or buy crops from local farmers.
That was jumping. There's a lot of activity back then. They supposedly had a 300-piece brass band.
Hundreds of people either lived or worked in the town, John Benjamin says. There were hotels, warehouses, and this old general store, which John Benjamin's family ran for many years. Well, the old store is closed, but you can still come here to the vending machine and get yourself a soda. Unfortunately, a series of fires burned down many of the buildings in town and the people left. John Benjamin says one surviving building is the old brothel, which John owns and now lives in. You sleep where many have slept.
Again.
Across the street from John Benjamin's house stands what's left of Shirley's Bar. John says it was an icon in town and was owned by a feisty woman in her 90s who let visiting bird hunters serve themselves and allowed them to toss peanut shells on the floor. The last business in town behind us?
Well, that's the last one that's been open, yeah, was the bar. She's been gone about 2 years, I guess.
Hell, about the only thing left to do in Bird's Landing is target practice at the nearby hunting preserve. We found Curtis Hecker testing out his new shotgun at the sporting clay course.
Ah, you see, that's the way you miss. Just wanted to get that out of the way for you guys so you could see what that looked like.
These days, wind turbines outnumber the people in Bird's Landing. Though it's secluded and quiet, John Benjamin says the town's not dead, but he'll be here when it is.
Basically stayed here just to watch the place die, because I could see that's what it was doing. It's dying.
Where the hell is Likely, California? That's both the question and the motto of this small little Northern California town. But trust me, once you see what's happening in this cow town, you won't forget it. If you ask me, it's a little tough to define what small town America looks like, because when I drive around, so many small towns have been gobbled up by big cities. But if you drive up Highway 395 into Modoc County,
how are you guys doing today?
There's a little community holding on to their idea of a small town for dear life.
So our town motto is where the hell's likely.
If you don't know where the hell Likely, California is, you're not alone.
Yeah, we're in the northeastern corner of California. As a crow flies, about 40 miles from Oregon and 40 miles from Nevada.
The center of town is the Likely General Store, where you'll often find Jennifer Flournoy selling ice cream to local kids. It looks like you got more on your mouth than actually in your stomach there. Other than ice cream, the general store is a one-stop shop. It carries the usuals like canned food and cold drinks, but they also sell fencing supplies, auto parts, and a library of books. In the back, there's even free carousel rides for the kids. Downstairs, you'll find a thrift shop of quilts, crochet items, and even a wedding dress for sale.
This is the Likely General Store. If we don't have it, you don't need it.
Likely doesn't have a public swimming pool, but they do have several cattle watering troughs for the country kids to cool off in. Do you think that the cows like it when you're swimming around in their water?
Yeah. Sure, I think they think it's disturbing a little bit.
Yeah, they kind of look thirsty. Cows are a pretty common sight in Likely, and so are horses.
Cattle ranching community. The cows outnumber the people by a lot.
Kelly McGarva is a Bay Area transplant who married a fifth-generation rancher in Likely. She says the town's always been small, but it's gotten smaller ever since they closed down the school.
It was like a historic school. My husband's great-grandfather went there when he was a kid. My husband went there.
The elementary school closed in 2012 when enrollment in Likely dipped below about a dozen students. A heartbreak for Jimmy Richardson, who attended this school in 1947.
Oh, definite loss. Everybody still talks about the loss of their school here.
Jimmy's seen the population of Likely drop from several hundred to about 99 people. Along with the town's residents went other businesses, including the Likely Cafe, the saloon, and a number of blue-collar jobs. One building in town that no one wanted to see close was the Likely Church. The old building wasn't in an ideal location, so the community put it on a trailer and moved it down the street.
That's history!
Jimmy says the town was founded on hard-working, community-oriented people, folks who make decisions together, like when there was a dispute on what to name the town.
They took a vote and said it's likely to become a town and we're having so much problems, let's just call it Likely.
The town of Likely is not ready to roll over and die quite yet. In fact, the Likely Place golf course opened a few years back. It not only attracts golfers, but foodies looking to taste the grill's famous smash burger.
Slide it around here a little bit, smash that one.
That's why it's called smash burger.
Yeah!
Small town America may be changing, but if you were to ask me to describe what it looks like, I'd likely describe the town of Likely.
It's a friendly town if you're friendly. But anyway, get out of town if you're going to cause problems from the city.
With that said, here's hoping you now know where the town of Likely is. Hey, John Bartel here. We're exploring some of the most remote places in California. Up next, you're gonna wanna fill up your gas tank because we're heading deep within the Mojave Desert, and the only place to get gas is at Roy's Cafe, and it's pricey. This is the last place you wanna run out of gas. Middle of nowhere. Zero. Empty. The Mojave National Preserve is more than 25,000 square miles, and there's not a single gas station inside the park. But if you're heading south from the visitor center in Kelso, you may have enough fumes in your tank to get you down to Route 66, so you can fill up at Roy's in the desert town of Amboy. Gasoline is the main attraction in Amboy.
Everybody running the gas here. Everybody's saying, I forgot to gas up over there.
And if you find yourself running on empty, Manny Lopez will gladly fill you up. What is the gas price here in Amboy?
$5.50 regular.
$5.50. Now, before you start screaming highway robbery, you need to understand a few things about Amboy.
Back in 1960, there was 240 employees working in this place. Yeah, now it's 4 of us.
Today, the only thing keeping Amboy on the map is the people living here, Manny and the postmaster, Vanessa Paez. How many customers do you get every day?
Actually, like 2 or 3 a day.
Here in Amboy, people come and go. That doesn't help the population, but it is good for business.
All right. Oh, let's go get their money.
Loyaltton, California is known as the loneliest town in America. It sits in one of the state's least populated counties, miles away from anywhere. But despite the nickname, the locals prove that the loneliness is just a matter of perspective. If you search loneliest town in America on the internet, the first thing to pop up is Loyaltton, California. As you make your way down Highway 49 into Loyaltton, you'll notice this. There's a whole lot of nothing out here. Built at the foothills of the Plumas National Forest, Loyaltton is the only incorporated city in Sierra County. White picket fences welcome you as you enter the town, and according to the city limit sign, 860 people live here. But at the local watering hole, I find out differently.
We have a population of about 700, give or take, on a good day.
That's Mike Wellborn. He's the local liaison. Loyaltton, is it the loneliest town in America?
Not hardly.
Mike doesn't really like the name loneliest town, so he offered to show me around. And he brought his dog Willie to help.
Got the library. Like I said, we have one of each thing in town.
This is true. In the span of 3 blocks, we passed a grocery store, ice cream shop, mechanic, and a lot of churches.
There's 5 churches in town.
Next stop, the post office.
This is where everybody gets their gossip.
Now, Mike wouldn't tell me any of that gossip. Instead, he sent me over to Leonard's Market to pick up one of their famous sandwiches.
Yeah, they're delicious.
I got to talking with Caleb, the cashier. He told me I might find some action down the street. Apparently, impromptu water balloon fights can happen anytime in Loyaltton. Hey, I wasn't ready! Just be careful, kids in Loyaltton fight dirty. I needed to dry off, so the kids sent me over to the park. And that's where I heard the Lady Grizzlies cheering their fight song. Those girls love an audience. So it's kind of funny, when I drove into town, the road was pretty lonely. Is Loyaltton lonely?
Yes.
Why is that?
I don't know.
And I don't know why either, because this lonely really isn't that bad.
You really gotta try your sandwich.
No electricity and no cell service. If you're looking to truly unplug, Graniteville is the place to be. Just be sure and brush up on your horseshoe skills. It's the town's main form of entertainment. The Tahoe National Forest is normally a quiet place. But on Labor Day, the sound of competition resonates through the mountains.
Oh yeah, we do a lot of trash talking.
Welcome to the annual Graniteville Horseshoe Competition. It's quite possibly the most elite and remote horseshoe competition in Nevada County.
The best of the best. We probably all play once a year.
Well, they may not be the best, but this town is definitely remote. Hey, I noticed that there's no electrical lines in town here.
There's no electrical, there's no sewer line.
Graniteville is completely off the grid and almost off the map. It's about an hour drive from Nevada City. It's a long gravel road, and I don't suggest you take your Toyota Prius. How many people live in Graniteville year-round?
Year-round, 10 to 15 people.
The horseshoe competition is one of Graniteville's biggest draws, but don't expect to be playing on regulation pits. We're playing mountain rules.
These are mountain rules, yes.
If horseshoes isn't your thing, check out the newly restored one-room schoolhouse.
It became a focal point for the community to restore.
Mike Minahan didn't go to the school, but he did spend the first 6 years of his life in Graniteville.
The second year I was here, it had 20 feet of snow. Had to bring the mail in with an airplane.
Graniteville's an old gold rush town. This used to be the bar here.
Yeah.
Most of the homes in Graniteville are original in some fashion or form. Instead of knocking down the structures, people just kept adding on to them. Looks like the dogs kind of rule the town here.
Yep, they do.
Graniteville is sort of a self-governing community with few rules, except one: no brothels. Rumor has it that gold miners' wives set the last gentleman's club on fire.
The ladies took care of business, I guess.
Today, Graniteville is a family place, a time capsule of California's past. And on Labor Day, the horseshoe competition has one goal: bring the community together. Well, I hope you're not afraid of heights, because we're about to cross the American River on one of the sketchiest bridges I've ever encountered. It sways with the wind. Cross it if you dare. Linking Colfax to the town of Forest Hill is one of Placer County's oldest and most rudimentary vehicle bridges. This is definitely the sketchiest bridge I've gone across. Yankee Jim's Bridge spans 210 feet across the North Fork of the American River, and when the original wood bridge was built in the 1850s, it was the fastest way to get to the gold rush town of Yankee Jim's. Well, at one point, Yankee Jim's had about 5,000 people here, mostly mining. Yankee Jim, for whom the bridge is named after, discovered gold in the area, but instead of striking it rich, Yankee Jim made his fortune as a bandit stealing horses. That is, until someone caught him in the act, and Yankee Jim had to flee Placer County altogether. Well, in the 1930s, the old wood bridge was replaced with this metal suspension bridge. It's pretty simple, yet sturdy. It's passed the test of time. Today, Yankee Jim's Bridge is a popular place to go swimming, and the flat boulders offer a good place to do a little sunbathing or meet up for Bible study, like these girls.
Isaiah 40:29. He gives strength to the faint and strength to the powerless.
Well, the Lord must be strengthening the old bridge too, because today the rusty railings and swaying bridge deck are starting to show its age. The one-lane crossing was designed for vehicles in the 1930s, not modern trucks, which sometimes surpass the 3-ton load capacity of the bridge.
It's currently listed as structurally deficient, as it can't handle most of the modern loads and vehicles today. We're going to build a new bridge just downstream that can handle them.
Recently, Placer County approved plans to build a new bridge next to Yankee Jim's Bridge, which won't be torn down but preserved for its historic nature. Have you ever wondered where the middle of nowhere is? Well, it's located in Yuba County, just off Highway 20, in a place called Timbuktu. According to Webster's dictionary, Timbuktu is a faraway place. Turns out, a faraway place is right off Highway 20, where the Yuba River meets the road.
No, it was a real place, 2,000 to 4,000 people.
The road to Timbuktu doesn't get much traffic. We are way out here. But in 1850, Timbuktu was a bustling gold town, complete with a Wells Fargo stop.
2,000 to 4,000 people.
The founder of Timbuktu was this man, Richard Marple. Historian Kathy Smith says he was a dirty old miner with a strange nickname.
A storekeeper had been reading a history of Africa, and when he saw Marple coming down the hill, he said, "Oh, here comes the Sultan of Timbuktu."
The nickname stuck, but the town didn't. When hydraulic mining was outlawed, everyone left. Well, almost everyone. Meet Rebecca Carlson.
Otherwise known as Becca Boo from Timbuktu.
Becca Boo and the ancestors before her made Timbuktu their home.
Sometimes I like to spy on people.
These days, chicken eggs are mined in these gold-filled hills.
Just kidding, there's nobody out here.
Becca's a tough lady. You ever get lonely here?
Absolutely not. There's all kinds of things, critters, people.
It's just her against the wilderness. Currently, there's more chickens than people in Timbuktu. And sometimes that's hard for people to understand.
It's a big joke. Nobody lives in Timbuktu. It doesn't exist.
Jennifer Van Nolen lives just down the street from Becca.
Got an egg.
She's also a chicken farmer and has a critter problem of her own.
This paw print right here.
To protect the girls in the hen house from bears, Jennifer has lined her chicken coop with razor-sharp screws.
All right.
When Jennifer's not protecting her flock, this is where she spends her days.
So this is what it's like to live in Timbuktu, huh?
This is it.
Well, thanks for watching Bartel's Backroads and exploring some of California's most remote places. I hope it's inspired you to do a road trip of your own. I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the Backroads.